Hello, what's up guys? This is Ravindra Kanetkar and I welcome you all to the 7th part of the series of videos where we are going to create an e-commerce website fully from scratch. So far up to the previous video, what we have done, we have covered adding the product to the cart. So that was the main important feature of our whole e-commerce project. So what we are going to do in this project, we will be listing all the orders that the particular customer has in the order list page. So let's see how to do this. Okay, so let's run our server basically first, right? So what I'm going to do, just cd test. Okay, so cd dot then we will going to test. I think test was there, cd test, then cd scripts, then type activate. If you are in Windows, then this is the step, but if you use Linux, then you should probably write source test source space test slash script slash activates therefore the environment will be activated, right? So let's run the server. So cd dot let's go back and let's go into that e-commerce and then run python manage.py run server. It's simple process, but what we have done, basically we have written the views or the code for add to cart functionality, right? So we were getting the product, then we are getting the order item or creating the order item of the particular product depending on the existence of that product. Then we were just getting that all the query set of that particular object. Then we were just checking if the filter, if the product in that particular order was there or not. If it is exists, then we will just incrementing the quantity by 1. Otherwise we were just adding the particular product into that or particular order item into that particular product. So this is what our basic code was looking, right? So let's see how the thing looks, right? So yeah, so cart was one. I just did. So when we click on this cart, it is not showing here. That's why that's what we are going to build now today. So I just added the quantity or added the products in my cart as the admin. Okay, so I logged in as the admin, but let's fix first the main feature or that I have discussed in my trailer video, that is role based authentication and authority. So what is that? Basically we are restricting some particular URLs or some particular functions up only to the admin, or we are restricting to all the customers. So some URLs or some functions or some extra features will be definitely handled by admin. So it will be accessed by admin. So no any customer or no any other user can access that unless and until that admin has given the credentials to that person, right? So what we can do in the index.html page, remember what we have done, we have just included this template tagging method. So we were checking if the user is authenticated, and then we were showing the things according to the authority, right? But what we need to do, we will do this. So user is authenticated, we will be keeping at the top when the navbar is starting. So what we want to the user, if it is authenticated, we will show him home page, then cart, obviously he will having some card. Then we will show him add product. So add product will be only for the admin, right? So we will check if Django, if user is admin in Django, right? So let's see what's the basic functionality. I think the first URL will be suitable for us. Okay, so is super user is the method. So in the template tagging, what we need to do, we will check if user is authenticated, If it is authenticated, then show him home, cart, and all that thing particular. We don't want to show add product here, so we will apply template tagging method. We will check if user dot is super user. Super user means admin, right? So if user is super user, then show him the add product page, right? And then in that, after that, else we can show other things, right? So if user is super user, then show him add product, right? And we want all other things to be same for customers also and for admin also, right? So and if user is authenticated, and then we are applying if inside if, right? So we are applying if, and then it's else. So there must be end if, right? So there must be end if. So we are going to end if here, right? So we will check if user is super user, then else, and then end if. So this is our basically block for the admin, for the super user. We will going to show him only this. Okay, let me check. If user is super user, then we will going to show him add product and welcome. Okay, so we need to show welcome and logout functionality to that user also, right? That admin also, he can also be log out the system, right? So all these things will be displayed to that particular user, and then we will check if user is super user, and then we don't want this else block. We can remove this else block, and we can show this thing add product URL to the admin, right? And else we are good to go here, right? So this is the basic structure. So we are, let me explain you again. We are authenticating, we are checking if user is authenticated. Okay, so any user, if he is logged in, then show him home, his welcome name or cart, logout function, all this. If he is not in the else block, here we are checking if he is not logged in, then show him login and register buttons, that's it. And in that user is authenticated function, we will check, so admin must be logged in for handling this type of things. Then inside that's why sorry, that's why we have added this functionality. Then we will check if user is super user, then show him that URL, right? If he is not, then show him other URLs. So let's go to the localhost, it must be running. Okay, so welcome Ravindra and add product. So add product came here, but we need to just modify its position, right? We need to modify its position. So I think, where was the add product? So add product was coming here. So what we can do, we can move this thing to after this. I think what we can do, home, cart, and then after cart we can do this. So we can apply this logic here. So this add product will come before welcome Ravindra, right? So that's it guys. Okay, boom. What we have done, we have just added or created role-based authorities and permission. If let us check if it works for other non-users, which is other users who is non-admin, right? Let's log out here, and I'll be logging from the test user that we have created earlier. Okay, so as you can see here, boom guys, home is showing he is showing cart and the quantity is 0, and as obviously we haven't added products in that test, so test hasn't added any product to his cart, right? So he will not going to show any order, any products. So or we can use this also, or let's log out through and let's log in through admin panel. But we can do this, we can still work from here. So when we click on cart 0, nothing will happen because we haven't given any URL. So our next step is to create one simple HTML page, link with the particular URL, and then we are good to go. We can do other functions later on, right? So for that, what I am going to do, I am going to open this project in my file explorer. So as you were saying this, in the YouTube project, remember we have we did installation of Bethany, and which was the template, bootstrap template. Let's open its inner page HTML. Okay, so example inner page template, actually we can use this thing, okay, to, and instead of this example inner page template, we can show him table describing his orders and order items, right? So what we can do here in the inner page.html, or we have opened this, let me take 1 minute. Okay, so let's load this source of this URL. Just copy all these things, and we will create one order list page in our core level templates. So let's come to that templates folder. In that templates folder there is core folder. In that core folder we will create a new file, which is let's name it as order list.html. I'm just copying this. What we can do here, let's copy the index head portion of the index.html page that we were linking to it. css style.css, is it referencing that? Okay, so let's copy this whole head tag, and inside this head tag let's keep this same, because we are just using this template. This template is not our own. Okay, so at the last I am going to mention this whoever that has made this template, thanks to him obviously, and we will going to mention in the footer also, right? This template is not ours. I'm showing all these things to just explain you things, how things work. But in the real, if you are doing for your own website, or for deploying this website or your website on production, then use your content only. Similarly, what I am going to do here in the scripts file, the scripts folders, I am going to copy all that things. So let's copy this, and let's come down here. At the end of the body I am going to, okay, sorry, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so we have created order list HTML page, but before that we need to write its URLs and write its code. So let's come to the core level urls.py file. So in this we need to add one path which is specifying order list, which will it take pk or any other special characters, right? Okay, so views dot order list, we haven't created this order list view, so it will definitely give us error. Don't worry about that. Order list, right? So we have created this, just add comma, and we are going to write its function in the order list page. Let's come here, you can write anywhere, that it doesn't matter. So def order list, which will take request. What we are going to do here, okay, so if we are accessing all the orders in the particular user's cart, then what he need to do, or what we need to do, which code we should write so that he will get that code. Okay, let's see. We will check if order dot objects dot filter. So we are just accessing all the query sets where by the condition that user equal to request dot user. So user is the user who is currently logged in, and ordered equal to false. We will check this if it exists. Okay, if it exists, that means the order object is created, right? So order is created. If order is not only if order itself is not created, then we are going to just show him message that there are no orders, to try shopping or try adding our products to your cart. That's it. So what we need to do, if order exists, so we will check order equal to, then we will get that order. So order dot objects dot get, what we will get, user equal to request dot user, and order will be equal to false, right? Now what we can do, we can return then, that's what we want, return return render, which will take request and order core level order list dot html, right? And one more thing, we need to pass that context dictionary. So order will be equal to order, right? And if this condition fails, then what we can do in the else part, without writing, we can write without writing this else. So we will return render request, we will render this request, right? So request, and what we can say, order list core or order list dot html, and what here we can specify in message, right? Message, right? So in the messages we can specify right, like suppose your cart is empty. You can do this with the help of your messages framework also, okay? And this is also the way what we can, what we will going to do at the in the index dot sorry, in that order list page, we will we will check if there is a message or not. If it is, if there is a message, then we will display the message, and in the else we will check if the order is not. So if this order will be sent to the HTML page, or this message will be sent to the to that particular HTML page, both cannot be sent at the same time, sorry, right? So this is done. Now let's try to run the server. So let's try to run the server, and when we click on this cart 0, okay, so we haven't specified the URL. So to specify URL, let's go to the index.html page, and where was the cart? Where was cart? Okay. Okay, so cart was here, and inside this, what we can specify? URL order list, right? And when we hit refresh, okay, so it is giving us error. Did you forget to load this tag? Yes, we forget. We haven't loaded the tag in our order list page, right? So to load that tag, let's come to the top, and here what we are going to do, we will going to just load our static files. Okay, just the template tagging method that we used to do earlier. Refresh, and boom guys, it is working perfectly. We don't want this, we will keep this footer, and we don't want this. So what we can do here, there should be the mentioning of footer file. So end footer, okay, so footer starts from here. So footer is starting from here, and okay, we will keep this thing later on. It is not working very perfect, right? So example inner page, in this page we will going to show them the tables including all the orders, but this URLs we need to configure. So let's go to the index page, and in the user is authenticated, where we are doing all these checks, we will going to apply same checks. Just copy this, and in the order list there should be same method, right? So to access the URLs, the UI will be same. So in the UL tag, inside that UL tag, just remove all the LIs, and okay, so we need to get this thing. So let's remove all these things that is under the UI tag, and just copy that thing. Okay, so this should work. Refresh, Okay, so cart item count was, he is showing us the error invalid filter cart item count because we haven't loaded the template tag. So we will have to load this template tag in the order list page also. After doing this, this should work. Right, so cart is 0 for now. What we can do, okay, so hero hero is coming there. In place of that hero tag that is suggested there, where was the view, where is the URLs? Okay, so inside this, what we can do, we can specify URL, the template tagging. I think it is it correct? Let's check index. Let's hit refresh here, reload this page. Okay, so it is working. I misspelled that thing. I need to add this % symbol, so to complete the template proper syntax. So it just gave me the syntax error, like right. So okay, so what I am going to do here now, I am going to add some products into that particular user. So when we click on this view more, let's add this product. I want this product. Then let's click on this dish set, and this I have added this product. As you can see in the home page, the cart is now 2. Okay, so we have 2 products in my cart. Let's add this Call of Duty. I love this. And go to the, okay, so this is enough for now. So cart is 3. In the cart we have nothing. So example inner page template, but let's go to the, let's remove this, close these things. Let's go to the Bootstrap tables. Let's search for Bootstrap tables, and in that tables, now we just want tables, and we need to just add all the particular data in rows and columns, right? So I love this table format, this one. Okay, just copy this table here. Okay, so we will just copy this and just paste this. Where is the order list? So end footer and header is ending here. Breadcrumbs is nothing but this page, this small rectangular UI container type thing, which is specifying all the URLs. So when we click on URLs, it will not work because we haven't specified the URLs in here. So where is that example page? So home index.html page, but this is not the correct way. So we will specify this thing. Okay, so URL. So here index will come. Okay, this is just as like adding some URLs for that. Let's reload this again and it should work, right? So when we click on cart tree, example inner page template, and what we have done earlier, we will remove this section. Inside this section or inside this container, we can paste this table. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so as you can see here, the table appeared, but the table was not the thing that we did earlier. But okay, that's not the issue right now. We need to show all these things here. So first, last, handle. So in place of this first, last, handle, what will come? All the, let's go to model. So we need to access the order. So in the core level, there is models.py file. In the order, or in the order item, what we had user, order. So user, we will not going to show the user, because user is it's known that when somebody who is logged in, he is a user. So we will not going to show his name or his details in that. We will going to show particularly his orders. So we are going to see what we are returning. we will show him his order name, his order quantity, right, and his final price. That's why we have written this get total item price and get final price. Okay, so let's go to the order list.html page. Okay, so what I did here is I paused the video and I just written the thing that we used to write. Okay, to save time, I am going to explain you this because this is very important right now. Okay, so what I have done here, let me make it bigger for you. Okay, so we were just showing him if user clicks on that particular card, right, and we are going to show his order list. That's our primary motto. Okay, so what things we should show him to get the proper insights of to the particular user, that yes, I have bought this type of things and its total price is this, and I need to pay this final price. Accordingly, we just written this columns, right? So we will have a number column that will be suggesting how many numbers, so 1 2 3 4 likewise. Then item name will come, so which product that particular user has added to the cart, right? Then its price will come. Similarly, its quantity will come, how much quantity he bought that particular or he is going to buy that particular product. And then total item price, depending on the quantity, so price into quantity will come here. Here we are going to call that function get total item price, which we had written in that particular, in that our product model, or I think in the order item model, right? So this will be our columns. Then in the body we are looping through this. Okay, so what in the views.py file there was the order list, and in that order list we passed this order item, this order object. So we need, so order object, what order object will contain, it will contain his basically order, and one order will have can have many order items. So we need to render through all that order models, sorry, not order models, we need to render through all that order objects, order item objects, and just show him to the user, right? Show him at the order list.html page. So here similarly what I have done, I have looped through. So for order item, in order, that was objects which was sent by the views.py file dot items dot all. So we are looping through all the items and we are just accessing the number 1 2 3 4 likewise by for loop.counter. It's a method basically to retrieve the count, which that means if we apply loop from suppose for I in range 0 to 100, so 0 1 2 3, the current I value will be stored here. So for loop.counter will return the current counter value. Similarly, this will be according to this number. Then for item name we are accessing through order item dot product dot name. So we are accessing the product and then its name dot basically dot is used to access the particular variables, right, of the particular model. Now to access the price we are just getting rupees and order item dot product dot price. So we are just writing this rupees, and this will be written dynamically. So order item dot product dot price. Now this is the main point. In the quantity portion, in the quantity we are adding three part. So one will come at the fonts, not fonts. The icons are not loaded here. Actually, I wanted to use the bootstrap icons here, but it is not loading. That's why I just added plus and minus here. I'll show you what plus will do. We will write this code in the views.py file for that, right? So what plus will do, as many of you have guessed earlier, it will just add the quantity item, and what minus will do, it will remove or decrease the quantity item. That's it. And inside in that tag we are showing him order item dot quantity, its quantity, and address of NBSP is basically used to give some space, right? And finally we are just writing order item dot get total item price. So what this is the function basically which we are calling. It will return the price into quantity, that value, right? and we are checking here. So empty, so opening braces, percent sign, percentile symbol, then empty, again percentile and closing symbol. This syntax is used for checking if there is no any order. So if we are not able to loop through objects, then in case of that we can say this your cart is empty and continue shopping, right? We can say this by clicking on that continue shopping. He will be directed to the home page, right, where all our products are there. Similarly, this will be not the condition here. Actually, we can specify here, right, URL and index, right, and we can show him message your cart is empty, and we are ending that for loop. Okay, so we have started this for loop, just grabbed all the items, and we are ending this end for loop. What it will do, it will loop through first. Suppose there are in case of this test user that we have logged in, we just added 3 products. It will loop through first product, it will add one there, and its name, suppose Call of Duty, then its price, suppose 5,000, then plus symbol, then its quantity, suppose 2 quantity we bought, then minus symbol. Similarly, it will be we are calling this get total item price. That means we have just, if of 5,000 price value product we bought for 2, we bought 2 of count, so it will, the total price will be 10,000 for that particular product. And we are just checking if all these things. So I think you got this properly. And after, at last, this may be the important part. Okay, so just focus on this. We are checking if order dot get total price. We are checking if there is total price or not. Why there must be a total price if there is a order, but if there is not any order, how can we get the total price of that? Okay, so we are, for the sake of simplicity, avoiding the errors, we are checking if order dot get dot total price is null or not. If it is not null, if it has some value, then we are adding to total order price, right? So total order price will come here. Then we are just removing some space, and as you can see here, I have given style background equal to #1919, which is nearly equal to black or something color, right? And we are just accessing or grabbing that order dot get total price. We are just calling that function, okay, to get total price of the products that he has bought. Why I have written this null TDs, because we have 5 columns. Actually, we have 5 columns in place of this number. We are just adding this total order price, and at the last column we will add total price, which is similar to this, which will be in below this total item price bar, right? That's it. And we are just ending this if statement. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is the basically order list page. So let's try to run the server and let's check if values are coming or not. So when we click on cart 3, boom, guys, it worked purely perfect. So for product number 1, the item is garden toolkit, and rupees is 8,000, sorry, not 8,000, 800, and quantity we bought is 1, rupees 8,000, total item price. Okay, so 800, sorry, I am just confusing because between 8,000 and 800. So 800 into 1 will be rupees 800. Similarly, for order number or product number 2, which is dish set, the price is 2,000 and product quantity is 1. That's why total item price is 2,000. And similarly, for this Call of Duty Modern Warfare, price is 5,000 and quantity is 1. So total item price is 5,000. Okay, so here total order price is total item price. In below this we are showing this. So this price 800 plus 2,000, which is 2,800, plus 5,000, which is 7,800. So 7,800, this price, which is very correct, is shown up here. So the user will see, okay, so these were the products I have bought, and if I want to remove this, I will click on this minus symbol, which is not working right now because we haven't done this coding for plus and minus, right? To for increment, adding the item, and for removing the item, which we will going to do in couple of minutes. And he will check the total order price. So that's why I have given this blackish color, to so that the user can see or the customer can see that total price perfectly. So total price is 7800. Then what I will do, I will click on this checkout and just do the rest of the process. Okay, so this is how the order list page works. Now we need to code for this add item and remove item. For that, what we need to do, yeah, you are smart, we need to add urls.py file. We need to add some urls. So one path will be for add item, one path will be for add item or add product, but for avoiding the naming errors, we will add item only, and it will take primary key, it will take its id, right? As you can see here, I have just written this int colon pk, and here I was adding add to cart and pk was there. So basically our primary key or our product id is integer only. So we need to we need not to worry about its data type, right? We know that it will be a integer only, but in case of different types of attributes, we don't know, if we don't know about its data types, what if its data type is string or a float or any data type, right? Then in case of that, we need to specify this thing on. Okay, so we need to specify if this pk or this primary key is alphanumeric, so we need to add like string or something like that, right? So we are just grabbing this pk, or you can write as it is, right? We will check if this thing works or not, so that we can clarify. So views dot add item and name will be equal to add item, right guys? Similarly, for our remove item, there will be same remove item, then it will get the id itself, so that particular product will be removed. Then we will call views dot remove item, which will name as only, we can say remove item. Okay, let's add comma. Then we need to write views or product code for this. We need to write backend for this add item and remove item. It will definitely give us error. Core.views has no attribute because we haven't written any code here, right? So in below, I am writing here below the add to cart function, def add I think add item was there, right? So add item, which was taking request, and pk. Now what do you think the add item function will work? How it will work? Add item means basically we are adding product to the order. That means, I think you got it, you got this thing, right? We are adding our product to the cart. That means we are just adding the item to the order. This is same as adding product to the cart. What we were checking, we were getting that particular product. We are just checking that if order item is created for that product is not, then we were creating this that order item for that particular product. If it is not there, and if it is there, we are just grabbing that particular order item, and then we were looping, we were checking if that order having that particular order item is not, if it is there, then we were just adding or incrementing its quantity by 1, and if it is not there, we were just adding that particular order item in the order model, and we were doing rest of the things. If order doesn't exist at all, then we are creating order for that particular product only. So that was our case. So similarly, what I am going to do, I am going to copy all this thing. Okay, let's copy this, and in the add item inside this function, I am going to copy this. So what we will going to do, we will going to get that particular product, and this will remain the same. Similarly, what here we will going to do, So will the code will remain same? No, the code will differ, or codes we need to change some things here, right? Before that, what we can do here, we are just grabbing this, we are checking product and quantity of one, right? So remember, in the models.py file we had so order item not, so in the product model there was a product available count, was there. Okay, so in the views.py file we will check if product what we were specifying the quantity, I think quantity was there, right? So order item dot, okay, so order item dot quantity we were doing this thing. So we will check if order item dot quantity is greater than product available count. Okay, what we can do here, we will check if order dot item dot quantity is less than product available count. Okay, then we were going to just increment that order item quantity, right? And we are just we can say, we can do all these things, and inside in place of this redirect product description, we can redirect to the order list page, and we don't want this pk anymore. Similarly, if this gives the error, if this thing gives us error, then what we can do, we can message the user which will take a request obviously, and sorry, product is out of stock, right? So product is out of stock, and we can redirect the user. So redirect the user to the order list page, right? Okay, so we were just, okay, so this is the code, that's it. So we have written the code for add item. Similarly, we will code for remove item. So def remove item, which will take a request obviously. So what will be its code? So what will be its backend, its logic? So for that, what we can do, we will grab that item or product or anything that you wish to name. We will get that object, or if it is not there, we will get that 404 error. Basically what it does, it returns the object of that particular model. So product is the model and key is the key. What we used to do earlier, we were just grabbing the product by product.objects.get, and we were passing pk equal to pk, that is id, right? And it will return the object if it is there. That this function works as it is. It returns the object if it is there in the product, in the database of that particular model, in that model, and or else returns the 404 error. 404 error basically specifies if file not found, right? File not found or product not found or any not found error. Okay, so we will grab this item. We need to import this get object or 404. Okay, for that I think, I don't know, let's see how to import. So Django get object or 404. Okay, if you stuck this is type of things, if you stuck somewhere, you are always welcome to refer to the any Stack Overflow, suppose, then Django official docs. Okay, you can always refer that. So let's see, get object or 404. So from Django.shortcut, so it is shortcut basically. So we need to import this. So from Django dot shortcuts, okay, from Django dot shortcuts import get object or 404, right? 404. Okay, so this is the thing. And what we need to do here, okay, so we grab the particular item, After that, what we can do similarly here, what we have done, so we have created the order item. What we can do here, we can get that query set of order dot objects dot filter. We will filter by user will be equal to request dot user obviously, and ordered will be equal to false, right? So the user haven't ordered for now, but he will going to order it for soon. Sorry, soon, not for soon. Soon, right? And we are just getting the order query set, so all the orders of that particular user will be returned, and here we will check if order qs dot exists. If it exists, we will grab that first order, which is currently has. See why we are grabbing this first order item, because we are checking if ordered is equal to false, and we are if there may be there may be have orders of that particular user in the previous. He has bought some items after doing successful payment integration, after doing a successful payment. So we were doing ordered equal to true at that time. So when the at the last function, when the payment integration mode, suppose in our case we are using Razor Pay, so Razor Pay will send these details. Suppose if it is success, then we will grab that particular object item, and we will change this ordered equal to true at that time. Okay, so that's why we are grabbing just this item, because it will return only single item if it is there. So order query set, we are grabbing the first, which is itself a false, and if there may be some other items also, other order objects also, that order objects may be true. Okay, so that's their value, ordered value attribute must be true. Okay, so that's why we are grabbing this order qs0 first item, and we will check if order dot items dot filter. We will filter this thing, product by its product. So pk will be equal to pk. If it exists, we will check if it exists. Then what we can do, we can order item equal to, we will grab that order item. So we will grab the order item by objects dot filter, product will be equal to item, then user will be equal to request, maybe request dot user, yes, and ordered will be equal to false obviously. Okay, so what we are getting here, what we are just getting all the order items of that particular product. Okay, then okay, so why I have written here 0, because we are, as I have explained here, we are getting that order object of particular false. If there are many order items of that particular product, all the order items except the first order item having this ordered value attribute equal to true. Okay, now what we need to do here, we will check if order item dot quantity quantity is greater than 1. We will check if the order dot item quantity is greater than 1, then we can say order item dot quantity minus equal to 1, or order item dot quantity equal to order item dot quantity minus 1, and we will going to save this. Alright, after that we will check in the else condition. If it is not, see, if order is not greater than 1, that means order is not there. How can we delete order if it is not there? How can we delete a product in the particular order item if it is not there? Okay, so what we can do, order item dot delete. Okay, so we are checking if there is order item quantity which is greater than 1, then we will just decrement its quantity. But if it is only one order item, we can directly apply delete function, so that order item will be deleted. And after that, what we can specify, messages.info, which will take a request, and we can say item quantity was updated. Likewise, same message we can do, and we can return the user, redirect the user to the order list page. Getting it? And after that, we have to write this else here. So we will check if order item is not existing at that part. So we will just say messages.info, which will take a request, and we will see this item is not in your cart. Right. Now we are done here. We will redirect the user at the order list page. This video is taking long time, but just stick at the same position that you are in right now. Okay, so at last we need to apply this last. So this is the last part of this video. We were checking if order query set exists. So for that we need to write that else. So what we can do here, we can say messages.info, which will obviously take request. You do not have any order. You do not have any order, right? Okay, just copy this return render. I am not going to write this again. Right, just copy this and paste here. I think our work is done. Now in the order list page, instead of this, in place of this href, we will specify the URL there. So what will be the URL? URL will be what? Will be add item. Similarly, here URL will be remove item, and we are just grabbing the order item dot product dot price. So we are grabbing the product attributes by order item dot product dot it attribute name. So if you want to get its ID, what we need to do? You are smart, really smart enough. Okay, so how we can grab that? So we can say order item dot product dot pk. Similarly, we have to pass this in the order item and remove item page. Okay, let's refresh and let's see if that things work. Okay, it should work properly. It should increment the quantity. Okay, let's try this. I will click on this. Okay, as you can see, the quantity updated by 2, and the total item price was also updated. So it returned in place of the total item price, it returned 800 into 2, that is 1600, and the price incremented through 86,000. Not 86,000, 8,600. If I want to decrease this, okay, so if we click on this set, so it is giving me 10,600, and the total item price here is 4,000. And it's such a great, we have just added or putted all our orders items in the order list HTML page, and we are just grabbing its quantity item. We are playing with it likewise. Okay, so user can add as many as items as he wants. He can remove as many products from his cart. He is able to do that. Now if you want to remove this, okay, so I am going to remove. Let's check the remove item function works or not. Okay, so it has given us error, unexpected keyword argument pk. Okay, let's see. I think in the views.py file, which remove item which will take request and pk also. Okay, here you know all this thing. Okay, so quantity spelling mistake. So order quantity, where is quantity? quantity. Okay, it should work. Hey, it changed to 1. Let's click on this. It changed to 1, and price is, you have to see here, the price is changing here also. Let's now just focus on this part, total price. I am adding this thing. Okay, it changed to 10,600. I am adding this thing. It changed to 12,600. I am adding this thing. Okay, so let's remove. I want to remove this dish set. I don't want this. I'm going to click on this and click on this, and if I click on this, what will happen? This product will be deleted. So it will not remain in my order object. So when we click on this, boom, it disappeared, and the total price is 11,600, and I want to buy these things only. Let's check out. Nothing will happen because we haven't written any code for that. Okay, so that's it for today's video. In the next video we will go for rest of the things. We will implement the we can do the checkout function or the payment integration here. So thank you for watching this video. Then do like this video, share to your friends. If you haven't subscribed my channel, then do subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press that bell icon. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.